Hello and welcome to Just Like Me. I am here with the lovely Ivy Tulin today, who many of you will know from our devotional section on our membership site. She puts out beautiful content and she also is the leader of that section and moderates the devotions and requests for prayers and also what's the word for it when you ask for somebody to do your practice for them? What do we call that? The word's out of my head right now.
I think I'm gone too.
Okay, good. I'm oh God, I'm not the only one that has trouble with word retrieval. It'll come to us. Anyway, thank you for being with us today, Ivy. We appreciate it. We know you have a very full and rich life, and it's great to have this next hour with you.
This is
And
a nice time off for me.
yeah, I know you've got the next week to yourself, you and your husband, and some time with your sister coming up too. So that's really nice.
And yeah.
Yeah. So people are just loving these interviews and hearing about the stories behind people's lives and how they've come to yoga and Namaste Yoga and the membership site. And you're another long time member. You've been you
4 years I think it's been now.
Yeah, you've been with us for a long time. We've started these interviews with some of our longtime members, and I'm going to be interviewing some of our really new members as well. So I think those are going to be interesting stories as well to hear. So I'd love to hear, and I'd love for our members to hear, how you came to yoga, how you came to Namaste Yoga and the membership site, because it's been an interesting journey and it's an interesting story, and I'd love for them to hear it.
Well, I had recently retired and I had been doing yoga for a little while in a local studio, and it just, I could afford to do once a week. I really couldn't afford to do more than that, but I started noticing that emotionally and physically I really needed more. And I needed more also spiritually. I wasn't getting that where I was, although it was a lovely studio and a lovely teacher, but it just wasn't working for me. And so I just happened to type into yoga classes online in Google and found Yoga Yak, which happened to be featuring a couple of your classes that particular week. And of course, I panicked when I got through class 1 and 2, and there was no 3. So I immediately Googled your name, and this amazing site came up, and I was so thrilled to find you. And so that's when I started doing yoga absolutely every day. And it's been the same for the last 4 years, the site. So, and now our forum, which is great.
Yeah, so you've been around since the very beginning.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because I know. I think Mikhail has been amazing for our exposure. He has a ton of subscribers on his YouTube channel, Yoga Yak, and he's been pushing out our content since the beginning. And I think probably within an hour of our posting our videos, he probably has our videos up on his channel now. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so he's because he has so many more subscribers on his channel. He just gets more people watching us on his channel. So a lot of people find us that way, and a lot of people become members that way too. So. And I hear this time and time again too from people that they're looking for that something more too, that whether it be more content, like, wanting to do more classes, or but often it's that more, there's something more that their soul's yearning for, there's something more that they want emotionally, and also spiritually. And it's really cool that over time that you're contributing that to our membership site too. Yeah, and that's feeding you as well.
That is feeding me quite a bit, and I find that my life has become a lot richer, and my understanding of things that are going on in my life are a lot richer due to my being able to share on the forum site and getting feedback from other members, which has been really helpful for me too in my growth and my journey. So it's been very, very special.
Yeah, they say if you want to really understand something, teach it, right?
Yes. Oh, and watch out if you ask to teach it
It's true, right?
because it comes to you in lumps.
I know. I think both you and I have a really strong teacher archetype. I know you spent your career years were spent as a teacher.
Yes, and now
Yeah.
I do alternative education
Yeah.
within the town district area. So, yeah.
Yeah. So it's so cool that I think both I mean, this is your interview, but both you and I both you and I use our teaching as a way to develop personally as well. So, and I can relate to that. I know yesterday in Namaste Yoga we taught about ease, and oh my God, it was like one of the most difficult classes I've ever taught because it's obviously a lesson that I need to learn. It was like that class when we taught on flexibility. We had to teach in like two different locations, and took us 6 hours. It took us almost 8 hours to film it. By the time like we traversed two different locations, had lunch, had a nap in between, it was like
Oh,
it
hi.
was ridiculous that class. So yeah, it's interesting when we're called to teach how much more deeply we can learn, and so yeah, I think it's really cool when you're called to teach and how much I know you've told me often how much you've learned from your calling and teaching here. So I think that's probably one of the main places we can find you on the membership site. Is that true?
Well, that would probably be the number one place.
Yeah.
There are lots of other places I haunt too.
Shall we show them that first
Sure.
then? Okay. Let's uh let's I don't think that worked. Are are you looking at my screen? You're not, are you? Oh, you're
Oh, no.
no, let's see. Now you are.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the membership site, and we recently made some changes to the membership site, although probably most of you have been listening to these interviews already know about that. And the daily practice section is closer to the top now because our one of our intentions is to support your personal practice. So we moved it right up to the top, and the devotional offerings and requests are right here at the top in the daily practice section. And so this is Ivy's section. And is there a particular one that you would like us to take a look at or highlight here?
Well, our newest one is Trust Me. I trust me.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that, Ivy.
It had to do with how interesting it is that we choose other people to trust, but never trust ourselves, and what maybe needs to happen in order for us to open to our own true selves and listen to that voice inside. And and since I was having a lot of trouble with that myself, it sounded like a good thing to teach that week.
And what has the response been like to that video? What have people been saying about that?
Pretty much the same thing, that they really identified with it, and that it is funny that, when you come from a household where somebody is constantly in authority, or your family of origin is always telling you that you have to do X, Y, Z, and you go along with it the whole time of your life, you stop questioning them and you start questioning yourself. And that's the difficulty that a lot of people have had. So it was neat to be able to see that I wasn't the only one with that problem through.
Are there any others that you'd like to highlight that have been popular? How long have you been doing this for now, Ivy?
I've been doing this probably a little over a year now, I
Yeah.
think. It's been twice a month for the last year or so. So yeah, there's quite a few of them on there. Fear got a lot of hits.
Yeah, fear was a popular
That was a
one.
big one. Yeah.
Let's see if we can find that one. It's on the next page. Is it on the next page?
Oh, have we gone to a second
I
page?
don't know.
Wow.
Is it
I
just called fear? It's just called fear, isn't it?
think it's just called fear.
Yeah. Let's see. I thought there was two pages. Nope, maybe just this. Okay. Go more slowly. I'm having Working with fear. That's why I
Working.
wasn't finding
That's why
it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, working with fear did get a lot of. Tell us about this one, Ivy.
we had a lot of people talking on the forum site about being afraid of situations upcoming in their lives and being afraid of certain people that they were having to adjust their relationships with. And so, and I know that fear is one of the things since I was a child that drove me to do certain things, whether or not I was afraid of what might the outcome be. And so we were working over the couple of weeks during that month with this fear thing and with things about letting go and detachment and that kind of stuff to get people to detach from their fears, principally in this, and give them some tools to do that. So.
Let's tell people a little bit about the format of your devotionals because you start every devotional the same way, and you can see how you're doing that right now.
Yeah, I try to be as predictable as possible with the format because they're coming, when people come to the site, to that thread, they're coming for a particular reason. They're coming to get a little insight and to have somebody wish them well and bless them. And so we do a candle lighting at the beginning, as you can see here, with a special prayer. And we talk a little bit about the topic, and I tell a story usually concerning how this has played a part, this topic in my life, and some of the research that I might have done on it or what I've learned from personal experience, which is even more important. And we do usually a chant and a mudra and a prayer, which lately I've been writing because I haven't liked some of the ones that I've seen online or in other prayer books. So I've done some writing recently.
Good for you. It comes to
Yeah.
that, doesn't it?
It kind of does. I mean, if you want something to fit, then you create it.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing with that. And then we have a special blessing at the end for all of the members of the forum and those who are watching the videos and their families and friends and their issues, their
Yeah.
present issues. And sometimes we will remember specific people,
Yeah.
depending on what's been asked for. So.
And so let's speak about how we know what which people to
Yes,
speak to.
to speak to about that. The devotional site isn't just my videos, but it is a thread also that offers people a chance to talk about what they're experiencing and what they need, what sadnesses or joys they're having, what fears they have, who is sick or hurt in their family or in their general circle of friends, and what they would like us to offer our prayers or our practices for that particular week. And so we know who's in trouble and who's looking for some extra support and guidance. And that's how we get the word out. That's how I do it on the thread that when I make a video. I will say, listen, this one and this one and this one are having a problem, and so we're going to pray for this. So
Yeah.
that's what we've been doing, and people are very supportive. They don't tell you what to do on the forum. They simply say, "Oh, we hear that hurts, doesn't it?" And they give support and love. And I'm going to offer my practice for you. I'm going to light a candle for you. I'm going to whatever it's going to be. So it's a very comforting thread.
Yeah, and it's very non-denominational too. So
Yeah.
whatever sort of spiritual background or practice you come from, if they pray, they pray. If they practice loving kindness meditation, they offer loving kindness meditation. If they meditate, they offer their meditation practice. If they practice yoga, they offer their yoga practice. So,
Right. This is very open. I mean, we are very cognizant of the fact here that we have people from many countries and people from many different practices and people who have no specific tradition practice. And so we have to hit people where they are, and we leave everything extremely open and we refer only to divine spirit
right.
and true self. So.
Yep. And also, I want to point out too that it goes back to our intention here on our forum, which, it goes back to our guiding principle of ahimsa and our interpretation here of it in the forum, which is to be a witness to people and their process and support them in their process, but to know that each person has it within them to trust that each person has access to their own answers from their own personal experience. And so there's no need to give them advice, fix or change them.
Right.
And so that we can offer them support, but we don't need to ever give anybody advice. And so that shows up across all the sections, including this one. So when you show up and in the devotional section, and you ask for support, you're not going to ever have anybody giving you advice.
No, there's no preaching going on here.
Yeah.
It's all personal stories that each person tells about their experience with the particular issue or topic that they're going through. And that sharing is what's supporting. So
Yeah.
love that they give out. I mean, this is a really, really great place. It's a very safe place to be. And that's how you designed it. So people appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it's what sets it apart and what makes it a really loving and kind space and compassionate space, and what allows people to stay and be nurtured and to grow over time too,
Right. It gives them the room to do that.
at their own pace. Yeah. Okay, is there what else, is there anything else you'd like to show in that space, Ivy?
No, I think that pretty well covers it.
Okay. Where else will we find you when you are in the membership site?
Weekly challenge every week,
Okay.
no matter who's doing it. And everybody has been great who does. And I truly appreciate that because I can go quickly to that space, read the notes, maybe do some journaling, and pick a class that suits me for that particular day in that topic field. So that's been a time saver for me because I don't have a lot of time when I do get a little space to do some yoga. So I go directly there, and there are a combination of meditations and other spiritual practices and just classes for mind, body, and spirit, and 30-minute ones and 60-minute ones and 10-minute ones. And so it's a great combination. It's a good place to be.
Yeah. This one this week, I was just reading through the comments on it this morning as I was having my breakfast, to feel discontent. It's been a great challenge. A lot of insights and awareness have come up for people on this, both the light and dark shadow side of discontent. I just have been really impressed of what has come up for people on this challenge. So that's been really cool. So Ulrika's new to the weekly challenges. She's been doing it, well, I don't know if we can call her new anymore. I think she's done about 6 weeks of them now. Carrie has just been a superstar with the weekly challenges. Here's one of Carrie's. And Carrie is just fantastic at motivating and inspiring. I always say it's fantastic that Carrie is in such a high vibrational field, because I think she could motivate anybody to do pretty much anything.
I think so too.
So, yeah, and these are all, these weekly challenges, just like your section, Ivy, all this content is what we call evergreen content. So even though they're dated, you could jump in at any time to any one of these challenges, look at the topic of it. Let's see. Oh, look at when I used to do them all by myself before.
Melissa, what are you seeing on your screen? Because I'm seeing just a bunch of blocks.
Yeah, this is the weird thing. Here we go. About this software. It's very pernickety. Okay, now you're seeing the screen again, right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, here we go. So for example, if you were wanting to focus on relationships, here's one about right relationships or eyes on your own mat or imprinting your sankalp. So whatever your focus is, you can go back and probably find a weekly challenge or a devotional to support you in your practice.
Right.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool too. So that's the weekly challenge. Where else can we find you on the membership site?
Oh, I usually like the meditation section a lot.
Yes, that
I
is a
don't
favorite of our.
spend as much time there as I prefer to, but it's wonderful to check in with them and see all the different suggestions that Michelle makes, and her topics are amazing. And the way she writes and helps you to understand where she's going with her thought process. Just so easy to understand, even if you're not a native speaker or reader of English. It's pretty terrific.
Yeah, look at this. This week she's pointed to your practice too. She does a great job of integrating other parts in the site as well. Of as do you know that I think that is one of your greatest gifts too, Ivy, of having your pulse on what's happening in the membership site. Michelle does a wonderful job of it as well, of pulling in what's happening on the site and writing a reflection of bringing those things in to the meditation practice. Nobody's responded to her this week. I will have to go in and post a response. Maybe everybody's busy meditating this week or feeling discontent.
Confused by their discontent.
Yes. But I would have to agree. This is just one of the most brilliant parts of the membership site. And, Michelle is, I can't wait till we interview her because her meditation practice is incredibly deep. And she is one of the most beautifully spiritual people you will ever meet. One of the most humble people you'll ever meet. So we're just really blessed to have her nurturing this space in our membership site. And um, I interviewed Linda this week as well, and I didn't capture the video, so you haven't heard this interview yet, but we're going to re-interview her.
Oh, good.
But what I wanted to say is that you can join us at any point in this meditation series, but what I would like to say for beginners is two things. Number one, we have an introduction to meditation section that you could do first if you would like some support in getting your meditation practice started. So let me show you where that is. It's in the multi-day series section, and I believe it's right at the bottom. So if you were to connect with this series, one is preparing your body for meditation with yoga, because it can be quite uncomfortable to sit in meditation. So this goes through a short yoga class, 18 minutes. It'll get your body comfortable. There are preparatory poses for sitting. And then the second class in it is how to sit and be in your body. 26 minutes goes over how to sit in meditation. And I'm pretty sure, 3 different ways to sit. So how to sit in a chair, how to sit kneeling on the floor, and the traditional cross-legged position so that you're comfortable with sitting, because that's really important. You're going to be sitting. Well, you can choose how long you're going to sit. I would recommend either start with 12, well, you can start with less, but 12 minutes or 24 minutes or traditional cycles of time. And then being with your breath. That's in our meditation group, our focus is on our breathing. So if you do this one, you'll be prepared for our meditation group. Now, that being said, also recently we put together in our past all the videos, if you go to our community playlist, we put together a playlist of all of our meditations, guided meditations. So if you want support of having somebody guide you through your meditations, we have over 60 guided meditations on our membership site. So that can keep you going for quite a while until you feel ready to sit on your own.
It's amazing. When you said that, I think it was last week or something on the membership minute, that there were over 60 of them. I couldn't believe it. And then I started thinking, yeah, maybe there are.
Yeah, and if we actually, I didn't even add your devotional section because if we added that to the mix, there's probably over 80
Wow.
because each one of those would be a guided meditation as well.
Hmm.
And you've contributed a lot to these as well because you've done several walking meditations that I included in here as well because that's something that you really
I love
and a
walking
lot, yeah,
meditation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the meditation section that you really like.
I love that site. It's great. And I
Yeah,
love the short class sites too on
the short
on
classes, yeah.
it's yeah, I mean I haunt the bhavas and the koshas. I absolutely love those, but there are so
Right.
many other really good ones on there. I've also been using the forgiveness classes the last couple of weeks. There's a wonderful forgiveness series with some shorter classes
Okay, so
there.
let's
So
show those. So, um, which one of the let's start with the forgiveness series then, because that's this is a powerful series,
it really is.
powerful series. It starts with a lecture on what forgiveness is and what forgiveness is not, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions around forgiveness. Let's just show this because Little Miss Trinity did this
Yeah,
video.
this was great.
And it's very well done, I will have to say. She is my daughter, but she did a beautiful job of putting together this presentation in Prezi, which is a nice little software program. It's not really showing much. Oh, I must have talked about that one for a while. Yeah, she put these all together with beautiful photos from our hiking. So it's a nice presentation to watch too. And then there are some yoga classes in this series too, a heart softening yoga class, a letting go yoga class, and a courage class because there's a good deal of heart softening and letting go and courage that goes into forgiveness. And then there's a meditation on forgiveness. Now, that being said, let's go here because if we go to these community playlists, there is also a self forgiveness meditation here that was a weekly challenge. And that can kind of get forgotten because it wasn't part of that series. But around and in that time, I included that because when I put out new content, I will do weekly challenges to support that content. There it is. The forgiveness meditation, forgiveness of yourself. So I just wanted to highlight that as well. So that it would be good to have that in with the other one.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just go back to the forum so you can show your other favorite short classes. So there's the forgiveness series. That's a great one, Ivy. You mentioned the bhavas as well.
Bhavas and the koshas
Bhavas and the koshas.
are really great. If
Okay,
I'm just feeling like exhausted, I'll go into to one of those and just examine the layers of my body and what's happening and where my energy is at, and it's just fantastic.
okay, so that's the koshas.
Right.
So examining the layers of your body. So tell us more about, is there a particular one that you like the most here? Tell us.
Mm, I think probably the pranamaya was one that I really liked a lot.
So what is it about this one that appeals?
There were some breath practices in it. There you go.
Yeah.
That clear out absolutely everything that you've got residual. And it's just wonderful to get it all out and center yourself again. And of course, I love the lake and the ducks quacking and I mean, all the background stuff to this too, but the content is amazing.
Yeah, this one was filmed when one of our members, Katie, so graciously lent us her cottage for a week. and we graciously accepted, and we filmed this pub series, and it was just this space was incredible. Every morning there's a duck that you're speaking of. Every morning there was this incredible fog, and I was doing a 40-day sadhana at the time, and I would go out in the morning and practice in this incredible fog every morning. It
I would
was
find that very comforting. I think that's
it was
neat.
it was like Mists of Avalon. Have you read that book?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh
I
my
need
God,
to.
I felt like a goddess in Mists of Avalon. It was amazing. Yeah. So yeah, cool, very cool location, and yeah, very cool series for sure. So that's your favorite class in that series.
Yeah, that's my favorite class in that series.
Okay, and then you said the Bhav. So let's take a look at those classes. Tell me more about what you like about these classes.
Well, first of all, I like the way you can kind of concentrate in on the different topics. Let's see, if we go to, um, what's my favorite? Madhurya Bhava. Let's go down to the last one. I mean, I
Yes.
do all of them, but you know.
That's the one where the devotion is God is viewed as a sweetheart or a
As a
lover.
sweetheart or a lover. And when I feel a particular need to connect with spirit, I go to that class. When I feel like I'm in danger, I go to that class. When I feel like I'm out of balance, I go to that class.
Cool. And this one tells the story of Krishna, and there shouldn't be any commercials on these ones. I don't know why there are. I'm gonna get Tim to make sure those get turned off. This one tells the story of Krishna and Radha, so there's some mythological components to these two. Oh,
Hmm.
wow, look how hot it was there.
It was really warm that day.
Look at that glow.
You were right out in the sun, not under the trees.
Yeah, that was a favorite little spot by a swamp, and that was before our other Mike Pat came along
Right.
that you also graciously donated.
Yeah, that mic pack was a great addition.
Oh yeah, no more
It
drop
really
sound.
helped. And I always loved the garnet bead bracelets and things that she had at that time that you were using for healing, and it was great to see those. And I really
Yeah,
feel like maybe I could suck a little healing off of that.
yeah, I had so many of them then, and they've all broken since.
Oh my,
I guess I don't need them anymore.
they need to be healed too.
Yeah. But I remember Viola had them too, and she had the story of one of hers being flung onto like hers broke too, that like flung onto a ceilings, a
Oh
rooftop
wow,
somewhere. Yeah.
explosion,
Yeah.
huh?
I know, I love that Shiv one too, and it was so expensive. Those were so expensive. They're river rocks too. They're so cool. Yeah, I have to try and
Get them re-strung.
yeah. Cool. So that's that one. That series is really fun, and each one is an attitude of devotion. So not surprising that this series really calls to you. One is the attitude of a mother, where there's Durga, and then the other is an attitude of friendship with Arjuna and Krishna, and then the attitude of humility, where we used Hanuman and Ram, and then the attitude of peace. And then I used, we talked about Mahatma Gandhi in that one.
That was good. Yeah, I really
Yeah.
liked that one too.
Are there any other favorite in the short classes that you like?
The chair yoga.
The chair
I'm
yoga.
ashamed
Yeah.
to say that when I'm in a hurry, which you really shouldn't be when you're setting aside time for yoga,
No, but that's a
but when I
reason
can't
why a
lay
lot
out
of
the mat and there's kids running through the house, and honest to goodness, that chair class has pulled me out of a funk a few times. And it really is, it's easy to do, but yet it is demanding enough to change my breathing pattern and to center me again and to change my posture, which is 90% of your breathing practice, really. making sure that your posture's straightened out. And so that chair yoga class is just the best.
It's fantastic. Every time I look at this class, I want to make another chair yoga class.
Really, seriously, I
I
think it
know.
would go over big time.
I think a lot of people skip this class because, they think they're kind of, and I don't really mean this as a insult, 'cause it's going to come out the wrong way, but they think they're past it or above it.
Right.
But honestly, I challenge all of you to give it a try because this, you know, I actually designed this when I did a seminar for office workers. And so there's a lot of thought here put into people who spend a lot of time in chairs.
Right.
So to create that, like you said, you do it to help with your posture. So there is a lot of in here to help counterbalance what happens when you sit a lot,
Well, I mean, if you
ironically.
just look at the pictures here, you can see the difference in, how most of us sit and how you are sitting for this particular class. And you can see the diaphragm working. And you really, I mean, it is an amazing class. People shouldn't pass over it.
Yeah, it's one worth trying. I put it on a weekly challenge a couple of weeks ago, and I said, "So, how was the chair class?" Crickets. But it's not just for people with disabilities. It's for, I mean, I challenge able-bodied people who prefer sun salutations to try it.
Yeah, I think this class is too easy. It's really not.
Yeah. It's like that wall class. Remember when that wall
Oh,
class
yeah.
came out?
Oh, I hurt for a week after that walk.
Yeah. People find that class really
It taught me a
challenging.
lot about how much muscle strength I was not using
Yeah.
and what I needed to focus on. Wow.
Yeah.
I miss Jill's garden. I love that
I
garden. It was
know
so
it was.
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's moved since too. So,
Has she?
yes, that garden is, even if I was still in Ontario, that garden is no longer available for us as well. Mind you, she's building a new garden in her new home too, but
Oh my.
yeah. That's Jill. Any other favorite classes you'd like to let us know about?
Well, there's all kinds of fun in the realm of the 70s, and I don't mean the 1970s. I
Uh-huh.
mean 72 and 79, and gosh, there's a bunch of them. Sankalpa, which is my favorite class of all time, Drishti,
Hmm.
focus. I mean, in that area. And the groupings, I think in the 30s, 33, I want to say, to 39, somewhere in there. Yamas and niyamas are
Mm.
particularly important to me. I frequently go back to that grouping
Yeah.
series of classes that
Yeah.
are there because it just has so much to teach about life and about our yoga practice in general. And I just find it very supporting.
Yeah. So let me point out on the membership site where we have things about Sankalp too.
There's a lot on Sankalpa in there.
Yeah,
There's
because
really
I know
good
that was really
lectures.
important. Yeah, there's lectures and then there's a series of classes. So in the multi-day series class section, there's the Sankalp series, which is really great. There's a video where you can set your intention for your yoga practice. So if you'd like a longer time, I know that Alice, for example, she was requesting a longer time to set her intention for her yoga practice.
Uh-huh.
This is a great place to come and if you want a longer intention setting for your yoga practice, this is a great place to come or to have that saved on your computer. Oftentimes, I'm somewhat limited in my video length. I have to keep my videos under an hour when I'm putting them out just for file size. And so I'm limited in how long I can give you for Shavasana, for intention setting, and things like that, and still get a cohesive class out. So if you'd like a longer intention setting for your yoga practice, here's a great place to have that saved on your computer. Also, this is a great practice to set your intention for the day. This is, because you did the Mentor with Melissa course. This is part of the Mentor with Melissa course. You guys do this all for a week long, and it's an incredible practice All of you have profound experience when you do this for a week. This could be a cool sadhana to do. I would encourage you to try it for a week, 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, journal about your experience and see what happens in your life. And then there are other videos in here as well about and lectures. And speaking of lectures on Sankalp in the lecture section as well, there is a Sankalp lecture along with the meditation to help you find your Sankalp as well.
Right.
So that is great.
I would also encourage people who have the time, when you do give the Mentor with Melissa classes, again, to try and take those, because that group of classes was amazing. I learned a lot about myself, a lot of things that I was able to take with me and take off the mat and teach to. I actually took that group of class to a women's club thing, and I taught them about making your own collages, your
Oh,
soul,
yeah. Yeah.
that we learned how to do in the class. That was a presentation I did for them, and they were amazed
Yeah.
at what came out in the 20 minutes or so that we messed around with
Cool.
this. Was very fun.
So cool.
So yeah, that's pretty terrific,
Cool.
and you should
Well, I'm not sure we're going to be offering that course again.
take.
Yeah, I
still
think we're going
actually
in.
pull out meditations and things from it, because
Yeah, it's
yeah.
amazing course. Those of you who had an opportunity to take it, I think you had a great opportunity.
Yeah.
We're really listening to our community, and we don't feel our community is asking for teacher training, mentorship, that kind of thing anymore. So our focus is really on fostering our membership community. I do see, and we are going to be doing a survey. I kind of do see myself leading, you know how we did the Eating Like a Yogi course?
Yes.
So I do see doing courses with members. Like that was very successful. And I do see, because there's been so much interest in journaling,
Oh, that's
doing a yoga and journaling course. So if that's something you're interested in, I feel like I've been talking as much as Ivy in Ivy's interview, more than probably if we did it. But if that's something that you're interested in, a yoga and journaling course, that's maybe something you could respond to in this interview. And then that could be a really cool part of that, because art journaling is really cool. So doing some collage journaling, that could be a cool part of it. But to take a course, to be guided through the process, like those people who were in the Eating Like a Yogi course and those people that were in the Mentor with Melissa course will attest to being taken through the practices and having that accountability.
right. Being held accountable together, holding each other accountable. I mean, that even happened with the conversation on the forum concerning decluttering. Some of us, I think there was a weekly challenge on it, there was a devotional on it, but the conversation that went
Yeah.
on when somebody started a thread on this
Yep.
was amazing. And people just for weeks, people just kept checking in with each other. Okay, the kitchen's done. Now I have to do the bedroom. And it was fun. It was really
Yeah.
fun to see how people made progress and what came up when they started digging in drawers and I mean, spiritually, mentally, what came up for them when they started cleaning things out. So it was pretty neat to be supported.
So I'm really glad you brought it up, because it really already exists for you in the membership site. Like with the weekly challenges, with the devotional section, with so many of the threads, that all of this already exists for you if you just go in and use it.
Yeah,
Right?
it's just a matter of going into and just taking some time, maybe take an hour one week and just go through and scan all of the different topic areas that are there and see, what might appeal to you, where you might want to, and then focus your interest in one
Find
or
one
two
area.
particular
Yeah.
areas, because you
See
really
what's,
can't do it all.
no,
Don't
you
feel
can't.
bad if you can't,
Yeah.
it's not humanly possible
No.
with
You
over
find,
300 videos out there.
Yeah, and I don't either. That's what, like that's why you run the devotionals. That's why Michelle runs the meditation. That's
Right.
why Ulrika does the weekly challenges. And so each person, there are different people running different sections, and then, that frees each of us up to be experts in different areas, and that allows us each to, even the leaders are
To
surviving.
survive
Yeah, right.
and not burn out.
Right.
Hmm.
Exactly. So see what is resonating with you, and go into that area, and those and comment and allow that to be your place of being accountable. So, we there can be courses. We will do courses. But it doesn't, you don't have to be in a course. There are courses going on all the time too.
Right.
Yeah.
Each of the separate areas is
Yeah.
almost a course. And so, and just commenting and starting something. If you have a question and you started on the thread, it's amazing how much guidance and leadership you'll find and support.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things about belonging to the membership site, I think, is that you get that kind of support from a whole group of really interesting, very fun, like-minded people. So
Yeah. And um, I'm glad you mentioned about asking a question. Can I just show them about the ask a question
ask
section?
Melissa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just do that, because it's been a really good, just there are two really good examples over the last couple of days here. So, for example, I'm going to show this one. Jenny had some difficulty with her foam roller over the last couple of days. And so she asked about it, and I'm glad she did. So she has fibromyalgia, and so she had some pain after using her foam roller. So we're using the foam roller, some balls, for connective tissue work in our new posture and pranayama section, and there are some other sections too, some other videos too where we've been using them. So she had some questions about that, and this was a great question because it allowed me to go and do some research. And out of that research came some standard operating procedures for, sounds very clinical, but and guidelines for
What
people
to
who,
do, not to
yeah,
do with that. Yeah.
yeah, for people who have fibromyalgia, ME, chronic fatigue, any kind of chronic illness where they might be more sensitive, their nervous systems might have a little bit more challenge adapting to exercise of any kind. And so now there are these guidelines here that can benefit everybody. So it's really great when you ask questions because they're here for the benefit of the entire community. Another example was one of our newer members asked some questions for beginners. We are filling a gap in our membership community for beginners now with our postures and pranayama section. I do believe any good beginner class will feed a absolute beginner as well as a very advanced practitioner. So I was able to respond to him, and also some questions that he had about some knee issues as well. So, this is one of the really great benefits of being a member, because when you ask a question, it gets responded to within 24 to 48 hours. If you're not a member, it takes 6 to 8 weeks to get a response to your question, and the response, I do only respond now to questions that will apply to a very large population, and then it goes in a video response to a blog. So it's a major benefit to being a member.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So use that section.
Oh, yeah.
And also, when you ask those questions and it seems to be that there's common themes coming up, then that's how we determine the content that we're going to create for you too.
So there are no stupid questions. I
No.
mean, people are afraid to ask and they've been somewhat timid about, or they'll apologize for asking the question, and it really not necessary.
Yeah.
All the questions teach us something. So
Yeah, like recently there were so many questions coming up over like injury or illness, and what can I do because I have a broken leg, or
yeah, how much can I do?
yeah,
And
I can't do any yoga, and then this just wasn't true. So then we came up with this whole I did a whole membership minute on it. I did a whole weekly challenge on it on how to expand your sense of what your practice is. So,
And teaching people, I noticed the last couple of weeks, I guess, there were some questions, and you were teaching people how to ask or how to tell their doctor what they were planning to do, what yoga really is. Because when you say to a doctor, well, can I do this? He says, oh, no exercise for, 8 weeks or whatever it happens to be. But when you explain what you're doing, and people don't always know how to explain that,
yeah.
so you're giving some good instruction about that.
Yeah, you
How to
can't ask your
doctor.
doctor what yoga, can I do yoga? Because they, first of all, there's so many different kinds of yoga, so you
Right.
can't possibly expect them to know whatever version of yoga they have in their head. So you have to ask them what movements you can make and what movements you can, and that's going to be very useful in your day-to-day life too. And then you come knowing if you can forward bend or bend backwards, or you can put your arm
Right.
up or your arm down or your head below
Uh,
your heart or your head above your heart. Like these are very useful things to know in a class, and then you know how to take care of yourself. So yeah, these are important things to know and important questions and important conversation to have with your doctor so that you can take care of yourself. Yeah. Okay. So anything else you want people to know about your experience of the membership site, or where they can find you, or favorite classes or anything like that?
I would say that as I've talked to a lot of the people on the forum who have been here for a while, and as I've thought myself, that I've seen a lot of growth in the lives of the people who have been involved here for the last couple of years, that I've seen a lot of growth and change in myself. Not that I'm perfect, I have a long way to go, but I can see that how much this has benefited me. And it's amazing to me how large a hole membership here has filled in so many different ways. And there, I know that when maybe there's nobody else to talk to, I can just put something out on the site, and having released it to the forum, it feels like it's taken care of. Isn't that funny? But I would say membership here benefits you in every way you can think of. And so I would encourage anybody that is thinking about dropping membership or is saying, I can't do this, it's too many things, to just re-examine their focus on it. And because it really is an amazing, transformative experience to be here, I think.
I would agree for the people that put their time into it, that for the people that have immersed themselves in their own practice and who have been open to the experience of being involved in an area, whether it be weekly challenge or devotional or the phases of the moon or the Bhagavad Gita, whatever section kind of appeals to them, that I have witnessed that transformation again and again, of them taking their practice
And they're not going to miss
seriously.
anything if they choose one particular area. If they're only going to work the meditation, they're only going to work the weekly practice. So much of this overlaps.
Yeah,
Don't be afraid that you're going to miss
no,
something
you're not,
by
because
focusing on one, because it really does all work together.
yeah, because
And
we
so,
are all listening to each other, and all the leaders definitely are listening to each other, and the community and the needs of the community, and making sure that we're meeting the needs of the community. So yeah, you're not missing. It,
no.
it's better to dig one hole deep than to
Right.
dig many holes.
And then get confused as to where you are.
Yeah,
What? Who said what on what site?
yeah, 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 for sure. So tell us a little bit about your life outside of the membership site. You're the first American I've interviewed, actually.
Oh, that's right. Well, I have a very interesting life. It's very funny when you retire, which I did kind of early because I do have a chronic health issue. But it's interesting that when you retire, you actually become more busy. Your time is freed up, and you begin to get interested in all kinds of things. So what I did was actually take an interest I've had from childhood, which was history, and basically take it a step further. So I'm taking my teaching knowledge that I had for my career all my life, and I'm gone into volunteering for this historic organization, Historical Society, and they were in need of getting their message out to the community. And so I said, why don't we go into the schools? And it has exploded. And so I have a team of teachers working under me, and I'm really not the boss. We have a new coordinator who I said to her, you do the crazy stuff, the administrative stuff, because I stink at that. And I would much rather be in the pits having fun. So I'm doing that kind of work. I'm sending out trunks, mobile museum trunks, to all of the schools in the area. So we have 3 different towns that are actually being serviced by these mobile trunks, because the kids are no longer allowed to go on field trips because of the dangers of terrorism. They don't like sending them to the cities.
Oh, really?
And yeah, here they're very restricted, and because of funding, the funding in education in America is pretty tight right now. So we're doing that, and it actually brings the museum to the kids rather than having to send them to the museum. So the teachers are happy with that, and it's helped boost morale for the teachers who are saying, I wish I could do more fun stuff, but I don't have the time or the resources to do that. So the retired teachers are out having a blast. So that's really fun. I enjoy that a lot. I do a meditation in our local spiritual community here. In fact, we just finished up another series of that for the spring, and so that's been fun. So I've had some time to do that as well. And I spend a lot of time with my grandkids. They have a lot. Our Isabella is very into music, so we have been going to concerts. She was at Carnegie Hall a couple of months ago, which is an amazing experience for an 11-year-old child. She's part of a huge orchestra in addition to that, so she keeps us busy, and the little guy loves to play ball, so we spend a lot of time outside. We do like hike and kayak and that kind of stuff, and so we're very much into being outside rather than stuck to screens all the time. So
Good for you. And tell people where you live, because we have members from all over the world. So tell us a little bit about where you live.
yeah, we're in Warwick, New York, which is in southern Orange County. We're about an hour and a half from New York City, so we can go in and see a play or a show if we want to, or go to a major museum there. We live in a town that's very quaint. It's an old Victorian town principally, although there are some Revolutionary War houses there as well. It's a very neat little village where there's lots of walking and shopping, and people just stand around talking, and there are lots of parks and things in the area that you can just go and sit and watch the traffic go by, which is kind of fun. It's a typical New England town, but we're not quite in New England. Which is, little village greens and little white churches and bells chiming here and there, and we're in the mountains. We actually live on Warwick Mountain, and there's a large creek river type thing coming down the mountain called the Waiwayanda, which the viewers here have seen me film on occasion. And so that water source has a lot of history and stuff to it, and it's a lovely place to hike up the mountain. And we're right on the state park here, so it's actually a New Jersey state park. Of course, we're on the borderline, but we get to hike a lot there. Lots
Nice.
of lakes and things. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Cold weather, though. We're still in winter. We
Oh,
still have a lot of snow on the ground here.
yeah.
It
So
hasn't.
long winter,
Yeah, it's very long winters here, which I don't like so much.
but you get a nice hot summer.
But we get a hot summer. Yeah, a short, hot summer. A fast-growing season.
Yeah. Well, that's great, Ivy. I really appreciate your time today, and I know our members are going to enjoy getting to know you a little bit more and hearing about your life and the membership site through your eyes today. And I would love for them to ask you some questions, leave you some comments. I know that you would love to continue the dialogue, as you said that that's really one of the most valuable parts of our membership site, is that dialoguing. So
Yeah.
the Just Like Me interviews continue on after you've listened. So we really appreciate you listening. And I know everybody's been enjoying these so much. So
I sure have.
yeah, take the time afterwards to let Ivy know how much you've appreciated hearing about her experience in the membership site and her devotional section. And let us know what stood out to you about this interview, any comments you might have, and any questions you would like to leave for her below. And we will take the time to respond to them for you. I know Ivy and I will both be happy to do that. So thank you very much, Ivy.
Oh, thank
And
you.
And thank you, everybody, for listening today. It's been another great interview.
Very fun.
Thank you.
Thanks.